Did you guys hear that Poison Ivy, listen to this. Listen to what they're doing. Woke DC Comics. Poison Ivy is now a fat lesbian.
Fat lesbian.
Can you believe it? We got it right here from the authority on comic books, Richard Meyer himself, and then also retweeted by Gabe. I like to stalk actual professional creators at Comic-Con LTABE. Poison Ivy is a fat lesbian now, says your boy Zach, which is a ban evading Richard Meyer on YouTube. Fat lesbian. The entire point of the character is that she's an alluring seductress who beguiles men. I'm surprised he can spell beguiles. Turning her into a fat lesbian is like making the Flash be slow.
Hold up.
All right, so here's the thing.
It's clobbering time.
Would you guys believe me if I told you this is not honest? I mean, look, clearly there's a picture and she looks chubby here. I don't see any evidence that she's necessarily lesbian, but she's been bisexual in the comics for quite some time now. So that's probably what he means. Probably means that she's doing something with a woman or whatever, in a relationship with a woman. So that's, to him, that's just lesbian, even though she's bisexual. And guess what? Lots of people are bisexual. So, you need to kind of get used to the concept. I think it's not a big deal, but she's clearly chubby here. She's not the thin Poison Ivy we know. So is it true? Is she just a fat lesbian now? No, it's pretty frustrating, but it's the same thing that happens over and over again. So here's where our buddy Eric July, he of course tweeted about this. And guess how he framed it? This is why you need to buy the Rippaverse track.
Yeah.
Because as I've said a million times and will continue to say until he proves me otherwise, he cannot market his book on its own merits. He cannot sell these ISOM bull, which maybe is good. I don't know, but probably kind of not. But he can't sell it just like the way that most comic book creators sell their comics, which is, here's a story I made. Here's what it looks like. Here's what it's about. You want to buy it? And you put it on shelves. No, he has to constantly shit talk Marvel and DC literally every single time. And so he's, basically saying the same thing, that this is the reason why you have to have an alternative. So because DC just made Poison Ivy a fat lesbian now, that's why you should buy my books. Because obviously ISOM is the alternative to Poison Ivy. What?
Yeah.
Oh. So, all right. Here's the deal, though. I made a graphic, and I'm going to be making a lot more of these as time goes on. I've actually been working on a side project, how Comicsgate uses deceptive narratives. The deceptive narrative is DC is making Poison Ivy a fat lesbian, implying the character is forever ruined by SJWs or wokeness. Actual context. The story is from Catwoman Lonely City, which is disconnected from the main continuity of the DC universe. Essentially, it's an Elseworlds or a what-if story, guys. That's what it is. So Catwoman Lonely City is not canon, does not affect the established lore or the aesthetic of Poison Ivy or any other character. This is colloquially called an Elseworlds story from the now defunct line of DC Comics that exist in alternate realities using characters and concepts we're familiar with. Basically, DC's version of What If.
Ponder the question, what if?
Previously.
Now you have a million spider folk, which doesn't even make sense when you consider Peter's origin.
Dude, it's a multiverse.
I don't understand it.
Ponder the question, what if?
Fuck them hoe ass roads.
Ponder the question, what if?
I don't understand.
In the story, Ivy is much older and retired. She has been canonically bisexual for years, so being with a woman is not new for her. And then here I have the promo description. In a world without Batman, will Selena Kyle's old wounds tear Gotham City apart? So 10 years ago, The massacre known as Fool's Night claimed the lives of Batman, the Joker, Nightwing, Gordon, and sent Selena Kyle to prison. A decade later, Gotham has grown up. It's put away costumed heroism and villainy as childish things. The new Gotham is cleaner, safer, and a lot less free under the watchful eye of Mayor Harvey Dent and his Bat Cops. It's into this new city that Selena returns, a changed woman with their mind on that one last big score, the secrets hidden inside the Batcave. She doesn't need the money. She just wants to know, who is Orpheus? So, and this is by Cliff Chang, who, if you've watched Paper Girls on Amazon Prime at all, he wrote that. He writes it, draws it, colors it, and letters it. So he literally does everything in the book.
Everything.
Yeah. And so obviously this is not related to the main DC continuity, but you guys see how they frame this stuff. They do this constantly. Anytime you see them, if you haven't caught on to this yet, I know some of you have, but anytime you see Comicsgate or Ripa turds or whatever, it's usually intentionally or not, I don't know, not including important and relevant context that completely changes the way you understand this stuff. And they do this because there's a whole lot of people that are into comics superficially, but don't actually buy or read them generally. There's a lot of people like that. And they rely on that. They prey on those people that are like, oh, I'm kind of interested in, DC Comics. And then they see a tweet or a video where it's like, what? They made I remember her when she was Uma Thurman. She's supposed to be hot. Oh, she's a fat lesbian now? Ugh. And then they've already got the first half of their grift set up. Then they can go, hey, calm down. I've got this comic right here that I made that doesn't have any of that wokeness in it. If you pay me $90, you might get it a year from now or whatever. Like that is the grift of these guys. Okay. And that's what this is. It's the same thing as when we talked about Eric and the Sun Spider, and the way he's talked about it in his videos is that this is just a new Spider-Man that they're going to make a comic for, and she's going to be it's going to be a big deal, when it really is one of dozens, if not hundreds, of other versions in the multiverse. Most of them only get a couple of panels of time in those comics. So those types of, deceptive narratives, just look out for them. That's all I'm saying. That's really what I want people to start looking for. So that's why I'm starting to make these kinds of graphics.
Yeah. And, Ben Shapiro does this too with his movie stuff. It's like the first thing he says when he's like pitching his movie to his audience, he's like, why is this movie important? Because it's made by people who don't hate you. That's why the movie's important. They have to set up, everyone hates you. I don't hate you. Buy my movie because I don't hate you. Why would you see a movie from someone that hates you?
Smoke weed every day.